Day Learning Festival in the third batch of ETP, and the topic given is conflict management and resolution. So now if Prabdeep ji and Ranganathan ji want me to tell about managing conflict, let's create some conflict first. Then only we'll manage. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so my focus today, in fact, would be rather than creating conflict and then managing it is how can we prevent it? So there are two aspects. Let's have the system in place so that we can prevent it or at least minimize it to the extent possible. Then our job becomes very easy, managing the little bit conflict that perhaps is also necessary. After all, human behavior is so complicated. Each one is different. Yes. So there is bound to be some friction somewhere. And if that friction really spirals into something big, we have a bigger conflict. So it's a choice that you have. Do you want to have bigger conflict and then show your management skills of resolution? Or you would like to show your skills preventing the same? So with that choice, once again, welcome to the program. And I am now sharing my PPT with the hope that you will like it. Sundays are always special. 23rd of May. The topic is conflict management and resolution skills. My name is CA Amit Arora and my Twitter ID at Am I Good. Never ever do I put anything on the slide without it adding to the story. So if you're wondering this beautiful picture, stay with me on the story and you will find out why is it that they are there. Because if they are not there, then we'll also not be there. Okay. So the learning objective of the session, what is a conflict, why it happens, and with whom, how to prevent and resolve conflicts, and examples of real life stories. It'll be a joyful interactive session for an hour from 6 p.m. till 7 p.m. IST. And I have two requests as always. You can always participate, engage, express. You can tag me at Am I Good? And I think there's the other option of chat also. And of course, smile please. Now, the first question. As a journalist, asking questions is what we love the most. So as a generation, not just as an individual, as a generation, I would like to ask you, do we love conflict or harmony? Please do respond. I give you 30 seconds to think and answer. And pardon me for the conflict picture, but I had to pick something that not only shows conflict, but when you look at it, you actually smile a bit. I think the harmony picture will also bring a smile.
Yeah, so please participate, and I hope that everyone participates. And I will read out few comments, initial comments, whatever it comes. But if everyone participates, that will be great.
So let me ask you this question, Prabdeep ji. As a generation, what's your take? Do we love conflict or harmony?
I think we love harmony only, but conflict is very common.
Okay, Ranganathan ji, your answer?
Yeah, definitely harmony. But then the harmony should be a very well thought out one. Not that the boss says something, subordinate says yes. Not that kind of a harmony. Harmony should be a considered one, a debated one, and then well focusing on achieving the goal.
I think that's a good point. It's harmony, not compromise, and any vibrant democracy will ensure people express. So we don't want to stifle people's opinion, but having difference of opinion and respecting and still finding consensus is what harmony is. Okay.
Yeah, we have the first answer here. Rajesh Mishra, he says harmony. Where are the others? We are very slow.
I think I assume the others want some conflict. Rajesh Mishra wants harmony.
Right.
Okay. So you keep sending the response, all those who are in attendance. Meanwhile, the sense I get speaking to some of you is that most, if not all, would love harmony, right? Now, if that is the assertion, then the next question is, why do conflicts happen? And with whom are we in conflict? So continue your response by tweeting to the question that when we do love harmony, why do conflicts happen? And with whom? Prabdeep ji, your response to this question.
Yeah, conflict happens. Conflict happens because if there's a difference in opinion, and it happens with the people around us. It can happen with the family members, with the parents, with brothers, sisters, in the offices, with colleagues, and even on evening tea. If we are sitting around with a friend, it can happen with them. So anyone with whom we engage, a conflict can happen.
Okay. Would you like to add,
So
Ranganathan sir?
I feel conflicts happen even if the goal is same, but then the strategy to achieve it, the approach in those, how to achieve a goal, there the conflicts do happen. Everybody has their own strategies.
Okay. I think
yeah.
these are very valid points, and that's the best part of a soft skills and topic, that every point of view certainly adds value.
Yeah, we have a few responses. Should I read it quickly? Yeah.
Yes, please.
So your Sai says we love harmony, but conflict is more what we see. Satish says both the way we have to get work done, but harmony prevail. Stuti says I think I would like harmony, but some conflict to break monotony. Jaya says individuals prefer harmony while groups tend towards conflict. Rajesh says different opinions with whom we work with or live with. Shraddha says difference of opinion.
I
And
like that.
yeah, a couple of more. Satish says difference in thinking create conflicts. Sai says may arise with anyone having different approach. Yeah.
I like that response by Shruti, where she says some conflict to break the monotony. Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
so here's the agenda. Here's the agenda. So we've got these 3 points, and whenever I'll have the agenda point 1, 2, 3, you will find this picture, because the message is loud and clear that the COVID pandemic is still not over. So wherever you are, including children, very essential that the COVID appropriate behavior is followed. So whether it's wearing the mask properly, proper hygiene, ventilation, taking vaccination for eligible people, make sure you do whatever is necessary, social distancing. So that's the picture. So those are the 3 points. Conflicts happen with nature, with self, that's the inner world, and at number 3, external factors. Now, if you look at the slide down below, 1, 2, 3, I don't have anything, but I will have a breaking news for you by the time I come to the number 3 agenda. And trust me, significant amount of time sometime goes in number 3. Whereas my humble submission right at the outset with folded hands is, if only we get number 1 and 2 right, then you will find that we are on the right path. Let me explain what I'm trying to say. Conflict with nature. Look at this picture. All these years, the world thought we can have rapid industrialization, we can just have anything in the name of development, we can encroach upon coastal areas, we can encroach upon forests, we can cut down trees without replenishing them. But now you see how the nature is responding. As Newton's third law says, that for every action, there is equal and opposite reaction. So this should not come as a surprise to us. Will we learn our lessons? That's the key question. So the first big conflict that we need to accept and then address is that if we want to really stay here, then we realize that planet Earth is home to everyone. And therefore, when we talk about conflict management with nature, it is not about a particular individual or a government or a nation. Everyone needs to come together. And only yesterday, 22nd of May, we observed it as International Day of Biodiversity. Look at these beautiful creatures. And that's the reason why I had those birds as part of my opening slide. And I purposefully put all of this beautiful flora, fauna, species, so that we get very comfortable that we are not the ones who own the planet. Human beings, if they think that they have evolved and they have the intelligence, it's very necessary that we embrace and have an inclusive society. Our United Nations has come up with 17 Sustainable Developmental Goals. I would like to encourage our young chartered accountant friends, please understand all of these goals a little bit more. When the 21st century started, in the year 2000, the UN had come up with MDG, Millennium Developmental Goals. Those were 8 in number, and the deadline was 2015. Unfortunately, as a globe, as a world, we could not accomplish those. But then 2015 onwards, UN came up with these 17 SDGs, and the deadline for them is 2030. So whether it's fighting poverty, fighting hunger, good health, quality education, gender equality, clean water, affordable energy, all of these are listed very clearly what needs to be done. And you'll be very happy that our institute has taken a great lead, and we have a sustainability reporting standards board that leads the way in making our planet more sustainable. So the question I want to then ask everyone, we have understood that conflict with nature is the first conflict we need to address. So how do we go about resolving it? We need to change our daily lifestyle for better. My next request is, the audience, can you please share one act of yours where you consciously contribute to a happy, sustainable planet? I give you 30 seconds to respond.
Yeah. I have in my personal life considered planting trees as one of the important goals, which we very effectively carry out in rainy season, because that's the time when, the trees can grow better. So
Very nice.
mostly in those months. So we are waiting for the answers on what step you have taken on.
Yeah, it's worth the investment, these 30 seconds, 60 seconds, asking people to think, because otherwise we forget. And if only we recollect and some people share, then they will have a pool of ideas. Like you suggested, Prabdeepji, very rightly, that planting trees is something we can do. And very important that it's not as if we can plant trees anytime through the year. You should be mindful when to plant the seedling so that there is adequate water, sunlight, and it blooms at the right time.
Right. So we have the first answer from Vandan, who says saving electricity. Mukund says replacing plastic products with other substitutes. Shraddha says watering at least a plant daily. Rajesh says I use less plastic products. Vandan again says water management. And let us have some more.
I like that plastic one. We have to say no to single-use plastic. Can you imagine when you have coconut water and you're using a straw? 100 years down the line, you and I will not be there. That straw will still be there. Can't I replace it with something more eco-friendly? Please do that. Brilliant point.
Yes. So we have Dattaram, who says never throwing garbage anywhere except in garbage bin. Tuti says I try and make sure no water is wasted wherever I go. Jaya says reducing the use of plastic bags. Satish says in trending Swachh Bharat clicks in mind. Sai says green computing. Shraddha says reducing waste of paper.
Very nice. In fact, some responses I'm getting on Twitter as well. So CA Sakshi Garg has chosen harmony over conflict. So thank you, Sakshi. Mukund had rightly pointed out the plastic one. Just to add Dattaram's viewpoint, when you say that I throw or I put the garbage in the garbage bin, as an extension, Dattaramji, very essential that we also realize that there are different colors of bin. So biodegradable garbage has to go in the green one, the non-biodegradable one in the blue one. And then there's another one which is for the bio waste, right? Say, for example, today, if we are doing quarantine or home isolation, and if there is any bio waste, then we have to ensure that that bio waste is also dispensed properly. Okay, so let me move next then. We talked about the conflict with nature, and I'm very happy with the response we are getting from the youngsters about how we can resolve them. The second point is conflicts happen with self. Not that somebody is saying something. It is just that you get triggered so quickly. Now, whether I decide to have conflict or harmony, is it or not a matter of choice that I have? Yes, it's a choice. That means a lot depends upon my inner world. Let's really understand that. Now that when in the pandemic, you get to hear that please don't go outside. How about going inside? If you can't go outside, this is the right time, very opportune time to go inside and understand yourself. Please ensure that you practice what is known as self-love. Make sure if you want harmony in the world, it starts with harmony with self. Take care of yourself so that you can take care of everything else you want to take care of. If there is a room with 5 people and you are the 6th person who would like to resolve the conflict and you enter that room, but you yourself are not good in a good framework of mind. Now in that room, instead of 5 sick people, there are 6 sick people. That was not the objective. So if you're entering a room to cure 5 people, at least you maintain your joyful nature. So harmony with self of prime importance. Now it's even more important for a chartered accountant. Why? Look at the motto of our dear institute. Ya Eshu Supteshu Jagriti. It is a quotation from the Katha Upanishad, the Upanishads, and it means the person who is awake in those that sleep, which means that if in the last 70 years, ever since CA Act came into existence in 49, we have about 300,000 members. It's a very select elite club. The expectation of the society is, once you start prefixing CA on your name, that you will certainly be awakened. So your consciousness has to be higher. And therefore, you have to have and practice harmony with self. It's incumbent upon every citizen of the earth, particularly chartered accountants. Now, how do we do that? Seek to understand before you seek to be understood. This will enable you to resolve any conflict and, as I said, prevent it in the first place. Now, we have to seek from 4 different dimensions. One is physical. Physical is about body. Take care of your body. So make sure that even if you're doing all online classes, Zoom sessions, you are still clapping, moving around, doing some exercise. The second part is eating nutritive food. So don't just eat any junk food, right? Eat nutritive food, fruits, vegetables, and your body will tell you when you eat something, your body will give you signal whether they liked it or not. The other day in one of my programs, I had a yoga teacher and he made a very interesting point. It's not what you eat that will make you healthy, but whether you can digest it or not. So it's not what you will eat, but whether you can digest it or not. And your body will tell you. So it will differ across geographies. Something that may work in a certain geography may not necessarily work where you are. That's why they say, think global, eat local. Second part is mental, right? Which is your mind. Third is emotional. How can I manage my emotions judiciously? And the fourth is the life energies. Now we have to work on all 4 aspects for holistic well-being. Talking about the mental part, let me ask you this question. How many thoughts does human mind generate in a minute? In 1 minute, in 60 seconds, can you estimate how many thoughts does human mind generate?
Very difficult question.
Take a guess. Just take a guess.
Yeah, millions.
Okay, millions. Ranganathan ji?
Yeah, I also feel the same.
Okay. Basically, you're saying if the answer is wrong, it's Prabdeep ji who needs to be held accountable. So you are right. You are right.
Yeah.
You know, it's like in a minute, thousands, in a day, millions. It's really like a mind-boggling number. The idea is not a statistic. The idea is that it's in thousands. At least it's in thousands, right? Whether
right.
or not in the thousands, everybody will agree. Now I'm asking you, for sake of convenience, let's assume in a minute, a mind generates 1,000 ideas. You only tell everyone in attendance, isn't it common sense to realize that mind is an organ? I am separate from the mind. Mind is doing its job. Whatever it sees, it perceives and therefore generates certain thoughts. Now, for any practical person, is it realistic to entertain all 1,000 thoughts in that minute? No. That means we need to have a filter mechanism. Let the mind generate those thousands and millions of thoughts. But you filter and choose and nourish and build only the ones that align with your goal and the goal of the organization that you're working for. Yes or no?
Right. Yeah, we have few answers. Should I read it?
Yes, please.
Yeah, Rajesh Mishra says 6 to 7,000. Srinivasulu says more than 3,000. Dattaram says guessing 10. Mukund says 1,000. Rajesh then says, in a day, 60 to 70,000. Shruti says, at least 60. Vijay Lakshmi says, 1,000 thoughts.
Okay, so I'm saying at least all of us are on the same page. At least 1,000 in a minute. At least that is
Right.
the basic minimum subset. We'll all agree, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we are now clear that how we handle our mind. Now, here is a strategy to avoid the conflict. Walk away. I do that. I do that often. Please understand in life, time is limited. If it's not worth fighting a battle, just walk away. I'm not saying walk
Right.
away is the only solution. I'm saying among a lot of options, one of the strong option is walk away. In life, it's important to know when to stop arguing with people. Just smile and walk away. And trust me, I for one I have learned to love the sound of the feet walking away from things not meant for us. So that's perfectly fine, right? That's one solution. Now, here's the next question. Can you identify the singer and the song?
Singer and the song. Yeah. This I'm sure many will answer. The singer is somewhere from outside India, right?
That's right. But she's very popular here in India.
Okay. I don't listen to much music,
See, that's the other problem. If I ask the latest accounting standard, CS would know, but they would not know the number one singer these days.
No, music, I think many of the young fellows says, yeah, they listen to music. In one stress management, they said that, yeah, we have one answer. Hitesh says, Dua Lipa singer. Is
That's
it
right,
correct?
Dua Lipa. He is
Okay.
Dua Lipa, and the song is Don't Start Now. I'll request everyone to hear. It's a brilliant number. One of the chart busters she has sung. Absolutely brilliant. So those are the lyrics. It says, if you don't want to see me, dial a full 180 crazy, thinking about the way I was. Did the heartache change me? Maybe. This is a brilliant number. What happened here is that she has a conflict in her love, right? But then she gets emancipated and she feels free when she realizes that she has to now let go. So just like I said, walk away. The other solution to manage the conflict is let go. If it is not in your hands to resolve, or having tried a few times, you feel it's not working, let go. So just hear this song and you'll feel very relieved.
Right. I never heard her name. We got two answers. Mukund also says Dua Lipa. I do not
Yeah,
know,
Dua
but
Lipa.
right.
Yeah, that's Dua Lipa. She's a very good singer, and she's really come through the ranks over the last 2-3 years. And once you will hear her sing, you will find that she really adds a lot of emotions and feelings. Those are very nice,
Right.
very good. So, in terms of emotions, my request is that we have to be intelligent enough. A lot of things
Right.
may break our heart, but if they can fix our vision, then it's fine. You have to get over it. Okay. Okay, so let's come to the third part. Now, if you would have seen the index earlier, I just had 1, 2, 3, but nothing in between, nothing below. Now I have a breaking news below. I am saying if we work on the first two, conflict with nature, conflict with self, if we work on these two, how do we go about resolving these two conflicts? Trust me, the third won't exist. Or at least for the minimum cases that it exists, we will know how to respond consciously. It's very essential that we respond consciously. Whenever we'll respond, it will be consciously. Otherwise, we'll react. And whenever you will react, it will be an impulsive reaction. So, the third point, external factors. Why is it that we get into this conflict with every person now and then? Because we fall into this trap. What is more important, the subject of discussion or the person? The moment you get into personal attack, it will become very sour. And my humble request, no matter what the conflict, no matter what the disagreement, please don't indict that person, that being. Stay on the subject of discussion. There can always be disagreement. Today, Prabdeep ji and I can fight on anything. I mean, I can say, Prabdeep ji, right after my session, why don't you do career opportunities for women in Europe? Prabdeep ji said, no, Africa. I'll say, no, people don't know where is Ghana, where is Accra, where is Tanzania. Why don't you put Zurich, Switzerland, all of that?
Right.
So we can have disagreement, but that does not mean that we have a conflict. Maybe he has a point, maybe I have a
Right.
point, right? So the moment disagreement is fine in a vibrant democracy, but then you need the maturity to hear out the other person and stay on the subject of discussion and not make verbal abusive shots at the other person. These are 4 lines in Hindi. For those who are wherever you are across the globe, a little bit of Hindi. यूं ही छोटी सी बात पर कुछ ऐसे ताल्लुक बिगड़ जाते हैं, यूं ही छोटी सी बात पर कुछ ऐसे ताल्लुक बिगड़ जाते हैं, मुद्दा होता है सही क्या है और लोग सही कौन है पर उलझ जाते हैं. So if you do get caught in a conflict, then of course we need to reconcile. Is there any one formula? No. Is there any particular format? No. But still, based upon our experience, this is what you could possibly try. One is invite all involved parties for a meaningful dialogue. Well, if you messed up communication with wrong choice of words, then you have to use the tool of communication only with the right choice of words. So if it means inviting everyone, please do, for them to get a chance to communicate more effectively. Respect all views. If you are the one who's playing the authority or the arbitrator, listening is the most important skill you need to have to reconcile the differences. And once you've heard everyone, rather than being judgmental straight away, it's important that all the parties understand that why did we started the journey. Help them understand the vision, mission, and core values of the organization or the nation or the society. Because all of us ultimately came together for that one collective common goal. Yes, the essential. Now, why I believe that you can easily reconcile? Because you've got tremendous experience during articleship of doing bank reconciliation, and then of course in practice as well. But when I tried my hand at bank reconciliation years back, it's been 20 years, by the way, that I qualified CA, 2001, so 20 years, and 97 through 2000, the 3 years of articleship. It was then that I made this format. So you start with the bank balance per the bank statement, add checks deposited but not cleared, subtract the checks issued but not presented. Those are the outstanding checks. And then you come to adjusted bank balance. I always did reconciliation like that. And then I started with the bank balance per the cash book, add directly collected by bank and reduce bank charges, check bounced, directly paid by the bank. And you come to the adjusted balance per cash book. Trust me, once I had this particular format in my mind, I actually earned a lot of marks in inter and final exams because I used to create this and then whatever question came, just plot it and it reconciled. And I felt very good. Now that you have done bank reconciliation, I don't think that you will struggle doing conflict reconciliation. So once you invite all the parties, maybe one person was saying, just do nothing, right? Maybe Prabdeep ji was saying, just do nothing.
Yeah.
Ranganathan ji was saying, it is impossible. And both of them were fighting, right? Now we brought them together and basically they were trying to say, just do it. Nothing is impossible. So just look at it right from a different dimension.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so I hope that you've looked at life from more than just one angle. I know it's easier said than done, and sometimes it's difficult to really stop any disagreement spiraling into big conflict. But trust me, you have it in you to ensure that the journey is smooth. And sometimes for growth, like somebody said, some conflicts may contribute because it is just that was a difference of opinion. Now, I want to give some homework. If there are 2 cues, one of the complaint window and one of the gratitude, like I said, life is very short. So don't spend your precious time waiting in the wrong line. If today I ask anyone, do you have any complaints for the EDP program, ICAI, for the committee, for me, for any other speaker, trust me, we are auditors. We are very good at finding gaps. So this queue, therefore, probably will be very high, not just for us. I'm saying for any citizen of the globe. But my humble request to everyone, practice gratitude. Learn to say thank you. So the homework I want to really give to each one of you, no force, if you can do it voluntarily. Can you observe one day, one complete day, as no complaint day, and journal the experience? I write the word journal because you like journal, ledger. Unless you put journal, ledger, it's very difficult to connect with chartered accountants. So you just do that. And let's see whether you can actually have that kind of a day. And not that things won't go wrong in life. So it's life. It's always unpredictable. And uncertainty is my best friend. Who would have thought a couple of years back that COVID will come? Who would have thought all of these things that we are witnessing today will actually happen? That we can't really fly out, no holidays, and every person has to follow all of these behavior. So this is life. So doors would be closed at times. Vibes will be bad at times. Things will fall apart. But I'm still asking you to practice gratitude and acceptance. Let's be thankful for the closed doors, for the bad vibes, the stuff that really didn't happen the way you wanted. Maybe it'll protect us from the things that were not meant for us. So when it rains, we don't curse the rain. We open our umbrella. So let's really evolve into beings where consciously we try to have our own protection mechanism, our own coping mechanism. It's not easy, especially after COVID pandemic. I think every family, every community has either lost their near dear ones or seen suffering from very close quarters. It is not easy, but then still you have to accept it and take it into your stride, because it is very difficult when you know that a certain character will no longer appear in the next chapter of the story. Yet you have to move on to the next chapter. Story has to move on. So gratitude and acceptance will ensure that you will rise above the conflict. So if your manager invites you as one of the parties to the conflict, and so far you were very rigid and you thought, no, you were very right, can you just kind of relook, reflect? Can you be a little more accommodating? If you feel, no, there is a certain point, stay at that point. Don't make any personal attack on ABC. Even if somebody's done something wrong, I'm telling you, even if you badmouth a particular individual or an organization for that matter, it'll haunt you. You will probably not have peaceful sleep. So stay on the subject matter. You should certainly express. Like Ranganathanji was saying, I am not asking you not to express. We have to express. There's no compromise as such, right? Every being has got full right to express. And please understand that human beings in that regard are different than some of the other species, that human beings are at the highest level of evolution, no doubt. That's why the complexities are so much. No two individuals are the same. That's why even if today Ranganathanji and I were to decide the playing 11 for Indian cricket team, maybe he would want a particular cricketer, a extra spinner. Ranganathanji likes spinners, so he may be wanting, let's have a spinner, extra spinner. I am more of a pacer friendly person. I may want a pacer, but that does not mean we'll fight. Yes, the difference of opinion can be there. If today 130 crore people are asked by the selection committee who should captain India, then we'll have a captain. Do you think we'll have a captain? So let the selection committee do their job. Okay. So guys, just a couple of things before we'll take more questions. Khush dil jahan is very important. Khush dil jahan teri manzil hai wahan. Sense of humor, I think, is still very underrated. And with folded hands, I'll request the chartered accountant community that you guys are technically very solid when it comes to numbers, accounting, auditing, this and that, costing, DT, IDT. But there is certainly scope for everyone to improve sense of humor. Humor can diffuse any conflict and connect with art too. I covered the International Film Festival of India in 2019 when the IFFI was celebrating its Golden Jubilee. And we did 8 hours live program from Panjim, Goa. And in one episode, Subhash Ghai, the showman, came. And I asked him that art is for who? and he says art is for everyone. You can find that interview on the YouTube. It went live on Doordarshan. He made a very good point. He said to my art school, Subhash Gai, says, lawyer comes and I make him a good lawyer through art. Doctor comes, I teach him art and he becomes a good doctor. Taking the same cue, I am saying a chartered accountant can also become a better chartered accountant by connecting with art. So you got a left brain, right brain. Last 1 year, contributing to the creators economy. We have created this program, the musical comedy show. If you've got talent in music and comedy, please feel free to join us. Spread smiles. I wish God bless us all and we can be out of pandemic. So with folded hands, it's prayer for everyone. Once again, you see this flower, the beautiful nectar and the butterfly. Can you imagine a small butterfly, but a riot of colors of a small butterfly? Isn't it brilliant? Should we protect them or not? Somebody was telling me in Delhi, we've got Nehru Park. At one point of time, it used to buzz with a lot of butterflies. But if you will have so much pollution, will there be butterflies? No. So let's protect the flora and fauna. And the last slide before we take questions for the remaining time, that let's work on harmony with nature. That's the first priority. Harmony with self. We are part of nature only. We are work in progress because human beings is also evolving. We are not the same the way we were 100 years, 500 years, 1,000 years back. Civilizations have evolved. India is a civilization. We date back to 10,000 years. We will continue to make mistakes. So don't be harsh upon yourself. Don't doubt your ability. Continue to learn and grow. I'll be very happy that if anyone who's watching right now, if there's any conflict that you have in any of your relations, whether in personal life, professional life, love life, just be kinder to yourself. You just pick the phone and say sorry, that'll be brilliant. If somebody says sorry and you can forgive, that'll be fantastic. If only we rekindle the all-important values of empathy, compassion, collaboration, and recognizing the fact that we are all part of this beautiful planet Earth, trust me, we will have a very sweet journey. Thank you very much.